What's up guys? Welcome to another YouTube video. This is the first video after Christmas, so Merry Christmas. But today and the next 2 days, I'm gonna take you guys through what my weekend looks like. So today's gonna be a little different than normal. We are going back into marathon prep, so I'm building up my mileage. Just so that you guys can see, we are at 27 miles this week. So in order for me to get back into marathon prep, I like to have a base of around 30 to 40 miles before I actually start marathon prep. So I'm kind of training to get back into things. With that being said, yesterday we hit a 9-mile run. Today we're gonna have an off day because I do my long runs normally on Sunday, but my off day is a weight training day. So Saturday, today, we're gonna hit some weights this morning. So a little different, not running today, but tomorrow we're gonna hit a run. So I'll take you guys on that. But yeah, this is kind of like how weekend looks like, and we're gonna train, show you guys some meals, and just honestly talk about, I think right now is a really tough time for a lot of people with like maintaining consistency and the motivation, right? Because like, you know, you have the holidays, you have all these obligations with family, friends, etc. And I'm gonna kind of share like how I stay on top of things and whatnot, give you some tips and tricks and just like mindset things that I do to kind of make sure, you know, I'm smooth with everything and dialed in on the things that really drive my performance. So let's go hit a weight training session. We have chest and back this morning. I had a little bit of treats, so I'm still trying to get leaner. As you guys know, I've been documenting the cut, but as we go into marathon prep, you know, I gotta make sure I'm fueling enough. But I am down 6 pounds since when I started the cut, so naturally it's gonna just fall off from increasing training intensity and the weight training, and also obviously the most important part, keeping the diet dialed in. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself a little over Christmas, but now it's time to keep locking back in, trying to utilize those extra carbs and calories and cookies to get a good pump today and just have a good workout. So let's rip chest and back and get after it. That's the cocktail this morning with the coffee. Didn't have time to have a pre-workout meal, which is totally fine. It is what it is. Life's not perfect. This is a vlog, but at least I got something in. So we're gonna hit the weight training session. I did want to say too, if you guys are curious, like how I go about when I go a little off plan with the diet and whatnot with like the holidays. The biggest thing is just get back on track, right? Just go back to the way you were doing. People like to strive for perfection, and perfection doesn't exist, but consistency does. So I just try to make sure I'm as consistent as I can with eating the right foods. So yeah, I'm just gonna get back on what I normally eat, show you guys that, and train hard, and everything will sort itself out. So don't stress about that. You're not eating perfect on the holidays. Like, that's not life. Like, you gotta live your life and enjoy some things. So people think you lose progress in your physique on the holidays. That's not true. You lose progress the 360 days in between. Your habits are what create the body composition, the performance goals that you have, and the person you become. So to think that 1, 2, 3 days, or even a week total out of the whole year of holiday is gonna mess you up, that's not the case. It's all the days in between. Make sure you're consistent in that time frame and you're gonna be golden. So yeah, don't stress, enjoy life, and toss around weight and log some miles. Now, before we get into the weight training, I know a lot of people are wondering, when do you train legs as a hybrid athlete? When you're running or biking or whatever? You know, what I do is I train legs once a week. I don't really think I need to train it twice a week. Maybe that's my ego. Maybe it's just because I don't want to train legs twice a week. But I've just found that like it's really hard for me to recover training legs hard twice a week. So I'll train them hard once a week rather than like, I feel like if you train it twice, sometimes you're not recovered and you're sore, and then it's taking away from your running. So I do legs once a week, and when I do them once a week, I do those leg days on my tempo runs, so like the higher intensity runs, and that's just like what I do. And then as far as like the rest of the week, I do push, pull, legs like I talked about, and then I'll do chest and back again, maybe sprinkle in some arms on that chest and back day. So that's probably what we'll do today, but that's kind of like the split. And then I run, obviously. People think with weight training like, oh, the more I do, the better. Like, I think you got to take into account like how much can you recover, and then also take into account like, are you giving everything you have in that session, or are you fatigued so you can't do that, and then you're creating more like junk volume. So what that means is like you're just not getting quality sessions in. So I rather like maybe hit it less throughout the week of each body part, but really dive in and hit it hard. So, you know, that's what I do, and that's the way I think weight training works as far as like balancing, running, and lifting, because it is a toll on the body doing both. That's just works for me, that kind of split, so yeah. Now, I always try to feel how 225 is gonna feel on incline. This is how I kind of like go about what my weight is gonna be for the day. So if 225 moves good, I'll push a little more weight. If 225 feels heavy, I may not push as much weight. So I feel it out like that. That's how I go about all my days, like whether it's chest, back, or legs. You know, I always have a weight that I feel that if it feels heavy, I don't push as hard. If it feels better that day, I'll push harder. So it's like auto-regulating that. So let's just see how this sucker moves. We'll push a little.
We went for each other like a bullet from a gun, faster than the sheriff's drawing, hotter than the sun. Didn't see it coming lately, I've been on the run. You know you've seen my face.
That felt good.
So let me tell you something, darling. You fell in love with the famous man. See my pictures posted everywhere across the land. And if you run with me, you got to understand that you're holding on to a dangerous hand. If I want it, would you still want me? 'Cause babe, I want it. Do you still want me? I got a bag of money, honey, and it don't belong to me. Took it from a man that had it coming, so you know it wasn't free. We'll load this Smith and Wesson up and take our horses east. And if we run into any trouble, we'll leave them in the crimson streets, darling. You fell in love with the famous man. See my pictures posted everywhere across the land. And if you run with me, you got to understand that you're holding on to a dangerous hand. If I want it, would you still want me? 'Cause babe, I want it. Do you still want me? Would you head for the hills if they found me? Would you turn me in for the bounty? Or vultures are circling around me? Would you die by my side?
Now it's time to refuel, eat some breakfast, and get on with the rest of the YouTube video. Solid workout. Chest and back, baby. Time to cook up some breakfast. Shout out to my mom for getting me this pan for Christmas. I have a tendency to absolutely turn the heat on way too fast and destroy the pans. So don't do that. If you do that, you're just like me. So don't be like me and don't do that. So we're gonna cook this slow, heat the pan up slow, so I don't ruin the pans, and make some eggs. So, let's do it. All right, so we just wrapped up a walk. People that drive by probably think I'm like on my way to the woods, which ironically today, the meat in the freezer, the venison is getting low. So we got 2 more tags, hopefully to fill. So we're gonna try and go get a deer tonight, see what happens. So gonna pack up the tree stand, bow and whatnot in the truck and head out then. So that's what's on the agenda. Huh, she got a little muddy. Here we go. So I sat in the woods for quite a bit, probably like 4 hours. Did like a midday sit. But yeah, just no luck. That's why it's called hunting. And walking your bow. That's what I did today, just took the bow for a walk. It'd be like that sometimes. Oh yeah, she's dirty. So the second meal is 80 grams of oats, BPN, whey protein, blueberries. Oh, I drizzled some honey on there as well. And back from hunting, ideally I would like to get more meals in, but you know, like I said, this is just an authentic vlog. Sometimes this is what happens, but I always make sure I have like good high quality food at my house. And if I know I can't get to my house, I will pack some with me. So yeah, that's kind of what we had. I try to get in like quite a bit of carbs because like I said, tomorrow is my longer run. So like I try to eat more carbs today because it takes a while for your body to break down and store those carbs as glycogen, which is going to help you in your run the next day. So I just try to add more carbs to my overall calories to have a good training session. So like always planning to succeed in that run. I think a lot of people get it wrong is like they don't think about the run or they don't think it's important to eat the carbs. Then, you know, you end up bonking in your run. It's not fun. And you just hit the wall much faster. So this is kind of how I do it. But yeah, so we're going to have another meal with carbs in it, lean protein. And yeah, so that's what's going down. Doing some client work right now. Gonna log in. You know, this isn't the craziest weekend, but this is like what a good weekend looks like for me, is just chilling, working when I can, and doing some things that I enjoy, and spending quality time with my fiance over there. She got on the good old Christmas present. So yeah, gonna finish up some work and then show you guys dinner.
For each other like a bullet from a gun, faster than the sheriff's drawing, hotter than the sun. Didn't see it coming lately, I've been on the run. You know you've seen my face before.
All right, so we are going to hit our run. I filled up with 1.5 scoops of G1M Go Bar and electrolytes, creatine. That's my normal stack for around 10 miles. Obviously, if I run further, I'll probably do 2 scoops of G1M, but mainly just focusing on getting those carbs in before a longer run. Nothing but to do than to do it. If you guys think I'm always motivated to run, the answer is no. Motivation is kind of stupid. It's just what you do, it's who you are. Make it what you do and who you are. And then that's becomes the new discipline. And like I said before, as we go into New Year's 2025, you are your habits. And I think even myself, you know, there's a lot of things that I still want to improve on. I'm going to talk about my goals later in this video for 2025. But if you think about everything that happened last year, it's because of who you are and what you do day in and day out. It's not the like fast, easy shortcuts. No, it's like the boring work, the character that you build, and the things that you do that create the outcome in life and your job, your physique, and your performance, in your family, in your relationship. It's who you are at the core and the habits that you do that is what creates that version of you in the mirror. The cool thing about life is if you don't like the way your life is going, you can change that. But it starts with having the right habit and having the discipline to do the things that you say you're gonna do. I think the biggest thing that sometimes people run into is like they say they're gonna do something and then they never do it. And that's when the anxiety comes. And then like year after year, you just keep saying all these things and you never get it done. You just gotta take action, rip, go for it, send it. Just like we're gonna do for this run. I don't wanna do it. It's not like I'm itching to go run. It's discipline. It's what I do. I said I'm gonna run 10 miles today. I'm gonna run 10 miles today. Gonna put the pace and everything up there. So as you know, like the goal is to get lighter and leaner to increase my power to weight ratio, because I'm still relatively heavy and relatively lean. But if I just bring that body weight down just through fat, dropping a little bit more excess fat, you know, I'm gonna be faster, more efficient on runs. So like, just reiterating, that's my goal right now. Like, yeah, I'll be more aesthetic, but that's kind of just a byproduct. I'm not trying just to look good. I'm trying to have a good like power to weight ratio. So that's the reason behind my madness. Let's go back and eat a meal. All right, so breakfast, post run, what we got here is like one of my favorite meals. And this is the key, like finding the things that you enjoy and making it those meals, and be as consistent as you can with eating the same thing. I think most of us eat the same thing once we find out that we enjoy it. With that being said, nutrition is the most important part. So right here, just to kind of give you an idea of like total macros of the day, it's 230 to 240 grams of protein, 58 to 60 grams of fat, and then we have 320 to 330 grams of carbs. This meal right here is 70 grams of protein, 23 grams of fat, and 40 grams of carbs. So a little lighter on the carbs, but I get my carbs later throughout the day. But this is kind of what my meals look like. Super high in protein, moderate fat, higher on the carb side, except this meal. So like I said before, you want to make those carbs higher in your diet if your goal is to be a hybrid athlete, because you're burning a lot of glycogen through running, endurance training, and lifting. Your body needs that glycogen. So yeah, right here we just have the sourdough, the salmon, the egg whites, the eggs, the cheese, and yeah, it's a solid meal. So I'm gonna eat this, and then I'm gonna go up, and I just wanna be raw and authentic with you guys, because you guys take the time to watch these videos. I just wanna let you guys know about my goals in 2025 on a personal level, where I think I need to improve, and then performance level, where I think I wanna push in the goals I have. And just chill and talk about some things and just be raw with you guys, let the clip roll and just shoot the shit. So yeah, gonna eat this and move on to that part of the video. What's up guys? So just gonna keep this raw, unfiltered, not gonna clip it or anything unless I absolutely butcher my words. But I do wanna say I plan to do some cool things in 2025, but more importantly, there's things I wanna work on physically and mentally. And I'm gonna go over that. But before I go over that, I wanna say, hey, this is like kind of what my weekend looks like. The rest of the day today is gonna be similar to yesterday. Kind of do some work that I have to on the computer, client work, and then whatever I gotta do around the house and whatnot. But just to recap 2024, it was awesome. I think it tested me more than any other year. Let's just talk about the pros. So I ran 100 miles in March, which I never thought I could do. And this is gonna be like full circle, but I'm a firm believer that belief becomes before ability, right? And if you don't believe in yourself, how the heck are you gonna have the ability to do it? Because if you don't believe, you're not gonna take action. And if you don't take action, you're not ever gonna accomplish what you want. So the first step has to be to understand that you can do what you set out to do, and the belief in that you will get it done. And that just comes from doing the thing over and over again, failing until you succeed, and learning throughout that process. And then when you do that, crazy thing is you build something called confidence, and you can kind of channel that to understand that, hey, I can do hard things. But if you don't ever put yourself in that situation to do hard things and to overcome the hardships, you're not ever gonna have the confidence that you can do that, if that makes sense. So every year I do something very hard physically to push my mental capacity and my confidence, because confidence is earned, it's not given. So in order for me to have confidence in my mental fortitude and strength and physical strength, I have to do something. I can't just say it to myself, right? And I think that's popular, right? Like you listen to David Goggins, and yes, he's got a perfect message there that like you gotta believe and you gotta do hard shit. But people just listen to that and it's kind of just like water. Like it's just, they listen to that, they get a dopamine spike, they get a little short-term motivation, and then they go work out or follow a diet plan for whatever, certain amount of time, and then when things get hard, they kind of forget about it, right? Or they just don't have that belief that they can do it. So the biggest thing here is sign up for something this year. I'm gonna read off mine. Sign up for something that scares the shit out of you, that you feel like you may not be able to do, honestly. Like everything I sign up for, it's like, hey, I could fail. But if I put in the work and I do everything in my power to succeed, hopefully I succeed. If I don't, so be it. Try again. And that kind of leads me into the goal for this year. So I have quite a few in 2025. So I did the hard thing last year of the 100-mile race. I tried to run a marathon PR, which my first marathon was a 3:20 at like 207, 208 pounds. So that's why I'm trying to get lighter to run faster, obviously. But, this year I was supposed to, do that. I was prepping for that, and then I broke my foot. So biggest thing I learned this year is like things are going to happen to you, and this goes for everything in life, like it's how you respond to the adversity. So the victim of me side of me would say, hey Nathan, maybe this just isn't in your cards. It's going to be tough to get back to where you were. I mean, I was running 20 miles at a 650 pace, 150 heart rate, things were clicking. They were really good. And honestly, I fell into this mindset. I thought about it for a second that, hey, maybe this just isn't in the cards for me. Maybe I'm just not built for a fast marathon. And then, I kind of just threw that in the trash. I looked at it as like passing cloud, and I kind of just let it go by. And then a new cloud kind of came in, looking at the sky. Clouds, always new clouds come in, and I think of those as thoughts. And the next thought was, F that, you're gonna run your fastest marathon this year in 2025. Just because you got hurt, just because you failed because you paid for the race, you weren't able to run it, you broke your foot, it's a failure to me, honestly. And I don't care how anybody looks at it. To me, it's still a failure. So with a failure though, there's a learning lesson. I now know, hey, when something really hurts, don't try to push through it. I had symptoms of a stress fracture coming a long time ago, and I just pushed through it. And some may think that's admirable to deal with pain. It kind of is, but I think at the same time, it's kind of stupid. So, you'll hear back to my latest videos in that prep that I was talking about being in pain. And I didn't understand like that, hey, you shouldn't feel that bad when you walk around. So now with hindsight, going into 2025, sorry, I'm not editing this. I plan to approach the marathon much smarter. So, hey, if my feet are giving me issues, let's get on the bike. Say I have an hour run that day, let's get on the bike and bike for a similar heart rate zone for an hour and a half, cross training to help recover. So that's like one of the big takeaways is like smarter training with endurance. And overall, like the biggest takeaway, like I said, this year is just to understand that like when things go wrong, it's a learning lesson. It's not the end of the world, even though some things in life, like we're all on this planet experiencing things for the first time. I don't have all the answers. You don't have all the answers. But one thing that you do know is your ability to face those adversities that you face and overcome them. And you can control that. And it's all about your perspective on what goes wrong. If it goes wrong, just say, this sucks. I'd like feel that, but just understand that it's what you do after that is gonna set you up to where you wanna be. I always think of mountains, like when I was doing my 100-mile race. I've said this so many times in my vlogs, so I'm sorry, but this is the biggest takeaway ever. It changed my life forever. In a 100-mile race, especially in the Grand Canyon, I'm going through ups and downs. In a canyon, outside of a canyon, when I'm in a low canyon and I'm down there, it sucks because I was tired. I was 80 miles into my race. It was pitch dark out. I was on the side of cliffs. I did not want to run up the next 10 miles of elevation gain getting out of that canyon. But what you have to understand in that low moment, when you want to stop, when you don't want to run, when you don't want to do anything, when you want to feel bad for yourself, that is the pivotal factor to getting better. And it's to say, what can I do right now that is going to help me get out of this rut? And it's climbing the mountain. It's climbing the canyon. It's getting out of the canyon. And then when you're on top, you're at the high point and you feel good again. And life is full of canyons and mountains and canyons and mountains. You're going to feel great. Everything's going to sound like it's going great for you and everything in life is going good. And then you get punched in the freaking face and now you're down here in the canyon again and you just got to climb out. And that's the reality. We all go through highs and lows. That's life. And that's why it's exciting living, right? That's why the mind is the most important thing that you have. You have to control it. You have to understand that I can do hard things. I can overcome things. And then life gets exciting because you start putting yourself in the canyon, in the low points, just to test yourself to see if you can get out. And that's what I'm doing this year. That's what I try to do every year, signing for something really freaking hard that I feel like, hey, this sucks. Let's overcome it. And then that's where you build confidence. And I think, kind of like I alluded to earlier, that's where you kind of feel fulfilled in life and you feel like a sense of anxiety is coming off you because you know, like, here's the thing, I mean this in the most humble way, but there's a lot of confidence I feel knowing that I should not be doing what I did physically and I did it. And that gives me extreme confidence in myself to know, hey, I am mentally tough. But if I never did the work and before I ever signed up for all the bodybuilding, all the huge endurance events, you know, I didn't have the confidence because I didn't have the proof. So you got to build the proof and you have to understand the obstacle, the thing you fear most is the way. Run towards it. Freaking run it over, all right? Run it over. So that's like the key takeaway I have in 2024. Face some obstacles, but this year I'm overcoming those. So let's start out with the first thing on the list, which is going to be the Austin Half Marathon with BPN. So I'm going to be running that. I'm not sure if I'm going to try and just rip it or not, like just send it as fast as I can. I might do that, or I might use it as like a tempo run for my full marathon, which leads me into my next goal, which is my full marathon of running my fastest PR redemption from last year. So got the Austin Half Marathon. I haven't signed up for an actual full yet because I'm trying to see where my fitness is at. It'll probably be like a 2 to 3 week decision where I'm like, hey, I'm fit. Let's sign up for a race. And then High Rocks I can't talk. High Rocks Houston is on the schedule. It's March 15th, I believe. So just to try something different, push myself in a different avenue. And then I have an ultra endurance mountain bike that I want to do. So not sure like the distance yet, but I want to try a mountain bike race that is tough. Just because it's something that it's actually really hard. If you haven't mountain biked before, it's really hard. Because like, you go in these, it's full of elevation. So you go in like a low valley and then you got to climb your way out. And I just love that. Like when I'm on a mountain bike, I'm thinking about what I said earlier. I'm like, hey, this is hard. This is really tough. I don't want to climb this hill and put out a big effort, but I do it anyway. So ultra endurance mountain bike. And then something that like I really think I struggle with is, so that's like kind of like the performance side of things. And this kind of is too, but I overthink a lot. I think that I second guess a lot of things that I'm capable of, even though, like I said, I have confidence that I can do hard things, but if I don't constantly do hard things, I lose that confidence. So when I got injured, I think I fell out of that confidence that I could do the thing that I said I was going to do. So, I think this year is just believing even more in myself. And, I think you guys should too. I think there's no reason to not believe in yourself. Like whatever you believe in, God, a higher power, man, you're here for a reason. And you're here to live life and face adversity and to overcome things for yourself, for everybody that looks up to you, because whether you realize it or not, someone out there looks up to you. Someone else there would also, kill to have what you have, right? There's a lot of people that don't have the physical capabilities. Like they just can't run or they have something like going on, like an illness or something. And I always think about that. Like I'm so grateful to be healthy and to be in a good position to where I can push myself. And if I just believe, it just opens up the doors to what's to come physically and mentally and professionally, right? I think we all sometimes overthink, and then that overthinking causes like paralysis by analysis, and then you don't ever get to what you want because you're overthinking what your capabilities are, how you're going to do it. I think the biggest thing that I used to really be good at was just doing it. And I'm getting better at it again, but try to think less and do more. So for example, like if say you want to start getting into running, just go out and run. Just go out and run and figure it out. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need a perfect running shoe, a perfect watch. Like just go out and run. And over time, like that's how you learn. That's how you get better at it. Or if your goal is to, start a business, like just go look up things, find a similar situation in all those researches that you do online, and make a business plan and execute on it. And just start somewhere is what I'm saying with anything. Just start somewhere, and then you will build that belief because you're doing things and you're going to learn. And then when you learn, you're going to get better at it. And then before you know it, people are going to come to you and ask how you did it. So I think the biggest thing is honestly move fast and break shit. Just let's fucking run things over this year. Excuse my language. I just am super passionate about not overthinking things because I'm a simple-minded person with everything, and that's when I do best. I do horrible when I overthink. Horrible. It's the worst place to be. So I think just understanding that life is, make it simple as can be. The big thing I think that contributes to a lot of success is work ethic and just taking action. If you can work and you can take action, I think you're unstoppable. I think when I struggle, it's when I start thinking about all these outside factors that I can't control. And then I end up overthinking it and not doing it, whether that comes from business or, performance or even nutrition. So just simplify everything. And that's my goal this year, and just move fast and break things. So yeah, that's kind of everything. I would say the only other thing I'm on the fence about is Ironman, full Ironman. I'm not sure if I have everything squared away for that yet, but I might write that down before 2025. It's just not on here. So, I might write that down. But I think the last thing too is I want to, as I'm on this cut, I want to maintain a body composition that is just like power to weight ratio that I feel good at, that I can run fast at, that I can recover at well. I find that from my bodybuilding background and powerlifting, benching 410 and deadlifting, like 595, I was doing like I was always trying to like gain weight, lose weight for a bodybuilding show. And I think the biggest thing that I'm trying to really nail down is like the ideal body composition where I feel good. Because like I said, when I got injured, my first reaction was let's put on size. But yeah, that's important to me. I just feel like I want to maintain a solid physique and a solid power to weight ratio to where I wake up in the morning and I don't feel sore. I don't feel too tired. Obviously those things are going to happen every now and then, but I think when my body weight fluctuates a lot because I was so used to doing it, it just made me tight, and it just made me like immobile. So my goal this year is to really dial in the nutrition to a point to where, I keep the same body composition year round, which I'm pretty close to last year. But this year I want to dial it more in. And I think lastly, sorry if I'm sounding a little long, this is just a heart to heart. But more importantly, like I want you guys to put your goals down below so I can see them. Because I think that's so cool. I think what you put it out into the world, not only does it have, some power to it because other people see it, they hold you accountable, but I think it's just cool to see what other people are pushing towards. So yeah, I would love to see what you guys are. I might read them all. So yeah, that's that. But I think the biggest thing mentally this year that I want to work on, because I kind of talked about it last year going into this year, but the biggest thing I think I need to work on for, friends, family, relationship wise, performance wise, all that is just being present. I feel like I have trouble just relaxing. I have trouble just being proud of what I do. Like when I did the 100 miles, I was proud of it, but I didn't really, like it lasted probably an hour, and then I was kind of like, what's next? And that's the cool part, right? Like, yeah, I'm always trying to get better and push myself, but then I find myself not enjoying the moment. And, it's tough because there's a lot of things that life gives you and has that you want to truly enjoy. But if you're always looking for what's next, you don't ever enjoy that moment. And I think for me, I want to focus on the now, the presence of now. What's going on right now? Don't think about what's in the future yet. Just focus on being grateful and, being alive and appreciating everyone around you, not always thinking about work or performance or, what's next. So I think that will help a lot, because I do get a little bit of anxiety of always trying to do more and more. But being present and understanding like the only moment that you can really cherish and value is the now, right now. It's the only moment that exists. Like tomorrow doesn't exist, yesterday doesn't exist because it already either passed or it's not here. Right now is the only moment you can control, so be as present as possible. So yeah, that's that. And I hope this helped you guys maybe define kind of what you want in the new year for yourself. But I'm not gonna cut out any of this, so if I started or talked a little dumb, sorry about that. But yeah, most importantly, guys, I make these YouTube videos just because I love the community we have here, and I just feel like the people that watch us just are type A. They really want to get after it, and they want the best for themselves. And you guys motivate me to put out content, because I know you guys are pushing yourselves physically, professionally, and everything, and you're trying to get better, and I love that. So man, it means the world to have you guys watching my videos and like the videos and all that, because I wouldn't be doing this without your support or you guys here. So yeah, I just want to say I'm so grateful for you guys that watch my videos, like just taking the time out of your day to care, right? Like sometimes I'm like, who cares about this? Like, who cares about me? But I mean, it's cool that you guys do, and I care about you guys. And I just genuinely want to help you guys out as much as possible. So whatever I say here is the raw shit that I learned that I hope you guys can cherish in your life and move forward from. So yeah, gonna wrap up the video here though. Weekend in the life as a hybrid athlete. See you guys in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay corn fed like the OGs. Catch you guys in the next one.